All right, who wants to start with prayer today? Any takers?
I can say it.
Okay.
All right. Our dear Father in heaven, we're grateful for this day, and we're grateful for this time that we can meet together as a class. We're grateful for being able to be in school and to further our educations. We pray that we will have the spirit to recall the things that we've read from this specific case analysis, and that we can share our thoughts, and that we will be quick to share our opinions, and that we'll all discuss with one another in full that we can gain the most from it. We love you, Father, and these things we say in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Anybody have a thought that they would like to share? Okay, sounds good. Let's move on. I went to the temple this afternoon, so there's my plug. Go to the temple. It was a great, wonderful spiritual feeding. So
good. That was actually our lesson. So I'm the Sunday school president, and that's what all my teachers were teaching about this past Sunday. I think it was, oh shoot, one of them was about doing temple work, and the other one was just thinking about temples. That's cool. One was, oh yeah, it was about doing temple work last week. So anyways, yeah, go to the temple.
Go to the temple. Sounds good. Okay. Do you guys want me just to go through all the questions?
Yeah.
You're all shaking your heads, yes. Okay. Okay, so the first question is, review the summary data from the negotiation results. Which team had the highest pre-money value, lowest, and where did your team fall? Is that something that we were supposed to do on our own?
See, I was confused on whether we were you two supposed to negotiate? Is it you two negotiating, or is it us two against you two negotiating?
I know me and Mackenzie had a whole different case study that we had to read, and then
find out confidential case study that we had to read.
Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't even MuMate.
It was sort of.
But it was like a different version.
The page. It was the investors.
Yeah.
So we took place of the investors.
What I understood is that you two needed to come up with an offer of investment. Me and Andrew was supposed to evaluate and see if we would like to go with your terms or with some two others offers. Did I understand right?
Yeah. Well, do you guys have two other offers?
So on these questions, it says that on question 6, it says, how did Austria and proper term sheet affect your negotiating strategy? So I went and tried to find information about these other two offers because it wasn't on my case.
No. No, it wasn't on mine. I think that's kind of where I got lost in where the real negotiation was, because we didn't have anything on Astoria and Prosper, neither.
Did you get an email from Brother Roper?
No.
I tried to find. I couldn't find anything from him. But I did a search on Google, and then I found something about those. So.
Oh, did you really?
I made some notes, but we didn't have anything. But I did make some notes about their evaluation and their offer.
All right. So do you guys want to know what I sent you the email for what Mackenzie and I decided we would come up with for your offer.
Okay.
And I can share my screen if you want me to share my screen. But question number 4, because it says, choose a student from the Oh my gosh, Mackenzie, I still can't say this the right way.
DPV.
The DPV.
Side and ask, what were your goals for this negotiation? So I'll let Mackenzie talk to that point. Is that okay?
Oh, what? Our goals
Okay.
for the negotiation?
Yeah. So like, what was the valuation, the board seat, how important was this deal? And then does MuMate fit our investment focus?
Okay.
And here, you want me to share my screen?
I'm going to pull it up.
Okay, I'll let you pull it up.
Okay.
Can you share your screen, Kim?
Sure. Okay. So these were our terms and our goal with it. We plan to invest in the first round 1.5 million, and then in Series B, investing the same amount if the company does well with the 1.5 that we invested. So, questions?
So another question was the board seat. So one of the things, I don't know if you guys know this, but in our portion of the decisions that we had to make was that we could do a Series A and a Series B, and we thought we would do that because if MuMate needed more money, we could do more money later, but we wanted to see how
How the investment was going.
yeah, how the first part of the investment worked. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mackenzie.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I don't know what the IRR is. Does anyone know what that is?
I don't know either.
The IRR of Y.
I think it's the evaluation. How oh no, never mind.
Is it the initial return on revenue or return on? No, that wouldn't make any sense. Return on revenue, because that's.
I don't know. But we can skip it. So our board seat, we proposed that we have our members on the board and keeping the original people on the board, Maxwell, the CEO, and Taylor, the founder of she made the product. And then having one outsider come in from a different company to kind of mediate between the two main partners. That way there's uneven numbers on a board, but we each get equal say in what's happening. And then,
So how much is your shares? It's 13%. Your part of shares.
I don't know what our shares were.
Yeah,
Jill?
we didn't know what our shares were. It
It
didn't
doesn't
say.
tell us.
Oh. And what was the math you used to evaluate us in 6 million?
So you can go.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Joe.
So in okay, so MuMate already had 3 million. DuPage can only give 3 million in their investment. So that's why we decided to go 1.5 million to begin with, because then we still have 1.5 million to play with later. So that's how we came up with the 6 million total, is the 3 that they already had plus what DuPage is going to invest later or invest to you.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, I just looked up it. The IRR is internal rate of return.
Oh, okay.
You got close, Andrew.
Yeah, I was close.
Yeah, you were close.
I knew there was revenue, and I think I said internal. Or no, I said initial.
Initial, yeah.
Yeah.
And then how so how we come up with that is, it says the IRR is the interest rate, also known as the discount rate, that will bring a series of cash flows, positive and negative, to a net present value. But any good math in our case, would you agree, Mackenzie?
Yeah, we didn't really have a lot of math. Like everything that required math in our case, the guy that was studying them already did. He came up with options for him and like where he wanted to stay, and then it was kind of up to us to just play off of that math.
Yeah. One of the things that was interesting in our case, and I don't know if this means anything to you guys or not, but so Maxwell would have been the CEO, and they didn't want her to stay in the CEO seat.
Really?
And they also didn't want Taylor to
be on the board.
And she's the one who invented the.
Yeah. So in ours, it talked about how they were afraid of that because if a common trait or a common thing that'll happen is over time, businesses will want to continue to jump in their progress, or they'll want to continue making so much money and keep making all this progress. And what do they end up doing? They end up shortcutting customers by cutting ingredients and delivering a less efficient product. And that was one of their reasons for saying no. Like, we don't want DuPage to have too much control. We don't want them, like Maxwell would have to. Oh, Maxwell and what's the other girl's name again? Taylor would both need to retain their seats.
Yeah, because they wanted to use cheap ingredients, and then it changed the entire purpose of the drink.
Yeah.
I think it happened and with the naked juice in the reality a couple of years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
They were selling, like, saying that they had these high values of nutrients, and in fact was mostly sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mackenzie, this question I'm going to have you answer. How important is this deal to DPV?
It's pretty important to the guy who is running it. I don't know about DPV as a whole, but Cantor is the guy that's investigating a company who wants to partner with MuMate, and it's very important to him. He put a lot of thinking and effort into it. It's very important to him.
Do you think it fits the investment focus?
I think so.
Okay. I think so too. I think for what he needs to learn, I think it's a pretty good deal for him. Victoria and Andrew, on your guys' side, did the co-founders see things the same way, or were you focused on other interests?
I would say they saw things the same way.
But which co-founders? Like the MuMate co-founders or the other one co-founder?
MuMate.
Okay, I think they had the same goals. They wanted to expand as much, and I don't think they disagree much.
What about
they seem to say? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Andrew. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, as far as them staying on the same page, or did they see the same vision? They both wanted to continue to retain. They were both worried, like we said, about their investors coming in and taking over too much and being the decision makers. They were afraid that they would lose their vision of, because part of it wasn't only just delivering a healthy product to customers, but also they tried to help out the farmers who grew that product, and I can't remember which country, but they were trying to help out those people as well, to improve their lives. And so they both saw, I think, they both got just the same vision, really, of helping out a third world country or a country that just needed, I don't remember if it was a third world country, but anyways, they both wanted to, yeah. India's a third world country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they both wanted to help out a third world country, help out these farmers, and they wanted to deliver an actual healthy product to people without, and they wanted to continue to be able to be the ones to make that decision. So
How do you guys feel about the option pool that DuPage offered?
Well, it says write down in order of importance. So
Yeah.
I think the importance starts with the deal terms, and then board composition, and the pre-money value is also a big thing. You guys are valuing 6 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. We're supposed to be like them. We're supposed to think like them, because it doesn't give much detail. So thinking like them, I would say that the pre-money value of 6 million for me wasn't not good enough. I would expect my money to be worth more, about 7-8 million, I would say. And then the board composition, yeah, I do agree that we needed to be on the board, both of us. And however, I would say not the same amount, like between two of them, like 2 of us and 2 of you. I would say just one of you, one of the investors, because then it would mean that we have more control of the control decision and control of the company. So that's why I was kind of wondering how much exactly shares would you guys get with this deal, so we can have a better idea.
So that's one of the hard parts too for our valuation, is that we didn't know how many shares they had to begin with. But one of the things that they talked about in our side of the case was that the board, they wanted to keep smaller because the more people that you get, the harder it is to make decisions. Mackenzie, sorry, Mackenzie, what were you gonna say?
It also needs to be uneven.
Yeah, it also needs to be uneven because we need the one person to like weigh in on both sides. So like that's why we put 2 and 2, so that we could have 2 of the investment side and then 2 of the MuMate side, because then they're equally represented. But then that 5th person brings in a different, from more of a medium type.
And the outsider isn't someone that we choose. It's someone that, like, as a whole, we decide to bring in.
Yeah.
It's not someone that DuPage is bringing in. It's someone outside that both of us agree to bring in from another party.
Mediator. Mediator's the word.
Yeah. But having 2 of you and 2 of us doesn't mean that you guys have 50% on decision making?
It depends on how much shares we have. Like, I don't know what our shares are. Like, if we have 50% of the shares of the company, then we should have 2 people on the board. But if we have, and even if we have like 40 or 35, that still equates having 2 opposed to yours and then having an outsider. But if we have only like 10%, then yeah, I can see having only 1 person on the board. But the amount of money that they're investing in the company, they're doubling the value of the company. So my guess is they have quite a large amount of shares.
I think I would be okay on the outsider part if MuMate was able to choose that mediator.
I agree.
Because that could still, he could, the person, he or she could still be on the outside, but it wouldn't feel as like on MuMate's side. if DuPage ended up choosing the third party, it's likely that they would choose someone who would be not necessarily like in disguise on their side, but I mean, it could be.
You feel it would be more fair if it was on more leaning towards MuMate's side.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
If they were finding a third party.
Yeah.
I can understand that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we can.
The problem with
trust ourselves.
Oh, sorry.
I'll go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say we can trust ourselves to find someone, but it's kind of like I don't know what I could compare it to. Like, all right, so you know the story in the scriptures, Lahantai, like come down off your mountain. Who was it? Amalickiah, where he's like, all right, I'll surrender to you as long as I can be second in command. We don't want this mediator to be a type of Amalickiah that poisons us by degrees. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we really want him to represent both sides fairly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the big thing too. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say we're taking a risk by loaning money because we don't know how successful you guys are going to be, right? Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm taking the investor side right now, but like that's the leverage that we pay, right? Because we're trying to invest in you guys. You guys need the money, so it is
and one of our major
two-way street.
Yeah.
One of DuPage's major concerns is that Maxwell doesn't have enough experience to take the company huge. She doesn't have training for it. So one of the things we talked about for another term to propose was getting her training as a CEO by one of our members. Like, it doesn't mean that she's going to sway our way or anything, but it means that she'll have the training to actually maintain her position on the board.
Mm-hmm.
But we have opportunities on the pile. We are expanding for Isticles. We have that vending machine, and we are getting to coffee shops as well. So you guys are good investing on us.
Yeah.
I like how positive you are, Victoria.
Good things in the pile.
I was gonna say,
that's one thing we felt was important too, is like with Mackenzie and me, we felt like leaving Taylor and Maxwell on was beneficial to the company.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to give them training. We want to give them the success that they need to make the whole entire process successful for all of them.
Mm-hmm. Something else that I thought of too, in having the person being chosen by MuMate, the third party, if anything happened to either of the initial owners, I keep thinking of the other one. It's Maxwell and
Taylor.
So if anything happened to one of them, say one of them died for some reason, then it wouldn't leave them at the odds of 3 or 2 DuPage and the person they chose, which could potentially be a 3 against 1. So that's another thing too, is having the third party chosen by MuMate gives them, it prevents a quick overpowerment.
So what would you guys put Dank in your board? Jeremy? The guy that took 10% in the beginning?
I don't know if he'll be much needed after the investment, honestly, because after having 2.5 million of investment, you can hire anyone to do the marketing part, and you don't need to give that person 10% of the company.
So you're saying it prevents any more disillusion?
Mm-hmm. Because you can hire someone and offer a big salary and doesn't give any share.
Isn't that cutthroat?
It is.
You're like, listen, you own too much. You own too much in the business.
They ask if we would keep, and from that No, it wouldn't be a good thing.
Remind me to always be on Victoria's side because I don't want her
Yes.
dumping me.
Make sure to always be her Maxwell or Taylor.
My friend would not do it.
That's awesome. Okay. So since you guys don't have the information for number 6, let's just skip that.
Too. I find out stuff.
Okay.
So I made some.
Okay, so
Let me read my little research. So the Prosper company offered a 3.5 in the beginning and 4.5 on the next round. So they proposed 2 series of investment as well, and they value the company on 7.5 Prosper. The Austria option, they're offering 2.5 million in the beginning and 7.5 next round, which would be such 10 million valuation, right? Yeah, such 7, 8, 9, yeah, 10 million valuation. So I felt like the Austria offer was a really good offer. Like our company have more value with them. They're offering more money after 6 months on the series round, and they
what about your board?
The board, it's about same thing. They wanna like 2% on the board, same thing that you guys wanted. But I couldn't find their equity share. Couldn't find that. I wanted to know that, but I couldn't find. But yeah, so that's my research on that.
Well, DuPage, are you gonna top that?
We can't.
You can't.
You can't go over
Okay.
3 million, so.
Over 3 million.
Actually, yours says that between 3 and 5 million, right? Or
No,
our case,
No.
it says specifically 3.
So let me go back and I'll tell you what it says. Because we were told we can't go over 3 million to invest. Where did it says you can't invest more than 3 million in this round.
On one round? So
Yeah.
could 3 million and then 3 million later on, or it means one round the whole thing?
I think it's one round the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. So yeah,
It just,
the offers are kind
because
of sorry guys.
Because let me read this to you too, because basically Cantor, who is the main guy that's evaluating this term sheet, he is being tested on his investing skill. So he is being told what he can do and what he can't do by the company, DuPage.
yeah. And MuMate is a high risk
Right.
investment because it's breaking into a drink business, like a drink company where Coke and Pepsi run it all. So they're on the verge of exploding nationally, but they're still really risky because it doesn't have the, what did he say? It's like over the next 18 months, it could sustain momentum and meet its revenue projections, but it could also lack in like its inventory pipelines and advertising and marketing. It would take up all of this money, and it might end up just being a West Coast fad.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you peeps are high risk. So we're only investing so much money for all of you. Okay, so what are the pros and cons to the other companies for MuMate?
Well, Astoria is the one that's going to invest the most in us.
Yeah.
So are you
What was
going
the
to
difference?
dump us? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not that. It's not that we're breaking up with DuPage. It's that we've found someone better.
Problem is not you, it's me.
I wonder
So
how much the other one's convertible preferred stock is, though, because we only have 8% of the annual dividend. So we get 8% of like the first liquidation. I wonder how much the other ones are. I wonder if they're taking more from you in the end.
Do you have that information, Victoria? No.
It was short time. Like I was researching about right before our meeting because I was reading the questions. I was like, wait, we don't have that information. And then I started searching and then the time was up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's ask these questions then. So how did the VC go about valuing MuMate? What exit value were we expecting?
So
The way
that
that they had valued. Oh, go ahead.
it means like the VC means the DuPage thing, right?
The venture capitalists.
Yeah.
So what exit value would you take later on? It's between strategic sale and IPO, right?
So I think it's asking, what did we expect the exit value to be?
Oh, like if MuMate ended up selling out.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't 50 million?
And then the next question, I don't know if this will help us to get the answer, but then from the next question it says, value, how to receive a tenant. So in order for us to invest, we need to get 5 to 10 times more. I don't know how to answer that.
Me neither.
Oh, get out.
And then the next question is, what share of the equity would that dollar amount equal? So if we're expecting, if Mackenzie and I are expecting DuPage, we're expecting a 6 million return after the first 2 rounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we would need to get
Close to 60 million.
15 million out of it.
Yeah. So if the company was to sell, then they would need to get, DuPage would need to get 60 million, or it would be just have to be valued at that.
Yeah, so we would be valuing MuMate at 60 million, which is,
Gotcha.
that would give us a 5 to 10% or 5 to 10 times return on our investment.
Gotcha.
I read somewhere that on the 4 bullet point, like what other means did the VC use to value the company?
Uh-huh.
That to do that math, you were supposed to do 4 times the gross profit of the most recent year of the company. Don't know if it makes sense. Let me try to find what was the gross profit. Do we have that in the spreadsheet?
We might. I don't have a spreadsheet for it, but I might be able to find that.
Let me see. The gross profit for 2015 was 15,246,000.
So if we multiply that by 4,
About 60 million, almost 61 million.
mm-hmm.
Is that right? Is that what you got, Victoria?
Yeah. No, not sure it's correct, but I was searching and I read somewhere that that was the way to do it. I can be wrong.
That's crazy. Okay, so what have we learned about our bargaining tactics? And should MuMate disclose that they have other offers? So if you guys are already had a $10 million offer, or what was that? 10 million?
Yeah. And, and the other one was 7.5.
Do you feel that you should tell us about that?
Yeah.
Yes. Because then you guys can do arrangements to increase the offer, maybe, if you guys are really interested.
Yeah.
Right?
Where's the negotiation if there's no incentive?
Right?
Yep.
I got a job offer.
Okay, so if you're, okay,
And I
if
told
we didn't
them,
know about this, would you guys have told us about this at the end?
what?
So if we didn't already know what we know right now, would you have told us about this in the end? Would you say, oh, sorry, you know, you guys like valued us really low compared to what these other companies were
I would
valuing
say
us
up front. I would say up front, and then you 2 days to think about it, to change your offer.
Yeah.
So Mackenzie, we'd have to figure out how we're going to get more money.
Yep, you would.
Okay, so then here's another question. Do hardball tactics make sense in a negotiation like this?
Yes.
Hardball tactics.
What?
Hardball tactics are like is essentially that, where if we came back, so after DuPage gave us an offer, if we were Taylor and Maxwell, we would come back to them and say, listen, Astoria offered us this much. What do you have a counter offer? That's hardball, because it's like it puts them in a hard position where they have to either pay up a lot more. Sometimes people who are offering something or selling something will lie and say that someone else made an offer. So another reason it makes it's considered hardball is because then it puts DuPage in a position where say us, Maxwell and Taylor could be lying and didn't really actually get an offer, and so then it's just to drive more money out of them to see if we can do it.
Yeah, hardball tactics are generally used by those who have more power. So like if you guys were really interested in the company, in the one that's investing 10 million, and you went to them, they're like, well, actually, and they like changed their minds on you, they would be playing hardball because they know that you don't have a better offer than them. So they could negotiate like how many board members they have and things like that. Which is kind of like when we talked about what case was it where we had like the A, B, C, and D investors, and we looked at them. So like hardball would be the two that were the most powerful companies, the ones we didn't like, that were pushy and they wanted their own way. And then cooperative would be Series A and Series D, where they're more willing to work with you and like learn about your company, and they're more malleable to what you want.
Got it. Thank you, guys.
Mackenzie, in the beginning, also have like things that are going to be, it's called provisions. So our provisions included certain things like where she talked about we get an 8% annual dividend and things like that. Like what is it Astoria? What are they offering as far as their provisions too? Because that's another thing, like down in the key takeaways. So that's the last question that we have. Is the key takeaways is that terms always have a price. So what are the terms if you guys were to take that 10 million?
It would be interesting to see the case, like if we could request it from Brother Roper and see what the other offers are, because then you would be able to see like, oh, they want 10% after liquidation or 20% after liquidation, which means you end up with nothing.
Yeah.
And the control on the board as well.
Yeah.
So see, you guys are seeing 10 million, but we're seeing, we're going to be your partners for life. We owe it. and oh wait, we're willing to train you people and teach you people what you need to know. Are those other companies willing to do that too?
Yeah, because most of them will want Maxwell and Taylor off the board.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any real experience being on a board.
Mm-hmm.
They want to kick
Most
you
startups
people
don't
out.
keep
We
their
want to
normals.
keep you.
Train you.
Now you guys are playing hardball.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long
Right.
would it take for a Series B to happen then? If we have the deal done?
If you came with
How
us,
long between? Yeah, how long would
you may not even need a Series B though.
with just
No,
one?
we want a Series B.
We want a Series B, but how long? Like 3 years later, the Series B? Like, what's your time frame?
So I was reading our confidential thing again, and it says that if we invest $3 million, we have to expect to get like 30% of the equity stake in Series A.
Yeah.
If we invest Series A at $3 million, which we can do, we require that we get at least a 30%.
No, I'm okay with not having the 3 millions up front. Like, I was just wondering how long later it would be, because I don't want to give you guys 30%.
I don't know.
You get 18 months.
18 months?
Mhm.
That's a lot.
That's how
The
much we
other
love
ones,
you.
the other ones are giving the Series B in like 8 months.
I think they're bluffing.
I am bluffing. I didn't find out that part.
It said that ours was the founder-friendly deal, meaning that we would keep them on the board.
Okay, let's keep you guys in.
Yeah, because I told you we love you guys. We would keep you and train you. We wouldn't just kick you off the board and do our own thing.
Well, because like in ours, they use like positive adjectives to describe Taylor and Maxwell, whereas like you read the other stuff, it's like they're not that great.
We'll just wait for you guys to train us, and then
Yeah, and then you just take over.
did we say 30%? I thought you said 10%. Yeah, there must have been a typo on the paper because it says 10% now. What? Not 30%.
Well,
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure we'd have some pretty good lawyers.
I'm sure.
it also says they really want to aim for a 25 to 40%. So see, we're like,
Wow.
Yeah.
In your kind benevolence.
that's right.
Yep.
Don't forget it.
Yes, we won't, I'm sure.
And we'll keep you two on the board.
Okay.
Victoria's like, you're all fired.
Victoria's like, we're waiting. We're not choosing now.
Okay, so here's another takeaway. How do you guys feel about conflicting priorities of investors and entrepreneurs, downside scenarios? Because that really is what we're discussing, right? Because we're trying to like upsell our benefits of you guys investing with us, but then you guys are looking at the 10 million going, wow, this is going to be really easy compared to what our terms are.
And
Does that make
to
sense?
write the paper,
Yeah, so like,
we're gonna need that information as well. Because how we're gonna say that they have a better offer if we don't even know what's the dilution
Right.
of the other ones,
Mhm.
and how much control would they have in the shares and stuff. So it's kind of hard.
overall though, I would
and I
say
think-
like
Yeah.
with conflicting priorities, I mean, as investors, your priority is to return on your investment, and us is we want to find someone who's willing to invest in us to the amount that'll bring us the momentum to bring us to speed or to give the best return. So like, you're worried of losing money and we're trying to find someone who's willing to give us money. That's right. That's what it's talking about,
The
right?
least amount of strings attached.
Yeah. So then, like, with those conflicting priorities that we have versus what the investors have, I would say, I mean, investors, that they understand. I feel like they have to understand that when they get in the business of investing, that's what they're doing. They're in the risk business. So as much as they would want to make a return on their investment, it should lean more towards the people they're investing in, for the simple fact that investors got into the business to invest, and they knew the risks when they came into it.
Have you guys seen Shark Tank?
Yeah, I love that show.
So this reminds me a lot of Shark Tank. So, like,
Uh-huh.
it's funny because, like, you as let's just take you and Victoria as the person trying to sell us into buying into your guys' company, right? So, like, because, like, you see it from the product side of it, and we see it from, we want you guys to make money for us, right?
Uh-huh.
So, like, it's funny how it plays on the emotions of whoever side you're on, because we see it from one side on the investment side. You guys see it from, we just want you guys to give us money and be a partner with us, but our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
That is interesting how it is.
And it is really two-sided when you think about it that way, because everybody has their own priority as to what's important to them, depending on what side you're on.
Yep.
So, all right, I think that's everything we need to discuss. Is there anything else that you guys think we need to talk about?
No.
No.
All right, well, you two go figure out if you're going to invest with us or Astoria, and let us know next week.
Email Brother Roper and get the rest of the information.
On the
Yeah.
paper, do we need to, like, on the hypothesis, we need to stand if we invest with you or not, right? Is that the hypothesis supposed to mean, right?
I would think so. I would think that you guys could do that on yours. Mackenzie and I would have to do it differently, I would think, since we have a different side of the case than what you guys do.
Ours as, like, are they a good investment? I think that's probably what our hypothesis should be, is MuMate worth the investment? Like, is it a good first-time investment for Cantor?
Are they going to show up or not? That's what we need to ask.
There you go.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
Okay.
guys.
All right,
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
We'll see ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
Yeah.